Hello guys, Akshay JH here, and in this part we're going to be taking a look at how you can implement like function on your blog post. So first of all, I'm gonna show you guys how to store the data so you won't get confused while we will be doing the coding part. So there are two ways you can implement the like function in your app. One is you can do something like that. Here you can see that we have our blog post, then we have a single blog. This is the main object. Then we have a single blog ID over here. Inside that we have many items. Then what you can actually do inside that, you can create one more object, like you can name it likes. Then inside that you can store like person's name or its ID of the person. Say for example this is an ID, then you can give it some value, maybe the name of the person, or some random value, or you can store multiple data like name and profile pic and all. So just like that, it will store a person who has liked this post, and you can add in more and more always. So this is one way to do it. Then we can retrieve it and show how many people have liked this post. The other way is, instead of doing it inside here, what you can actually do is, let me just collapse all this and also the users. Okay, what you can do is you can create one more object over here. This is going to be the likes. Then you can inside there add in the post ID, inside that the user ID and the username. So that way you can keep it clean and simple. So these are just two ways to store the data. Nothing difference between the functionalities of these data storage. So it totally depends on you guys how you keep it. I like it this way because I don't want to store likes inside a blog post, and then it's gonna make the single object really lengthy if so many users has liked the post. So we're gonna follow this way, but you are always welcome to do your own way. So these are like not the only two ways to do this. There are so many ways. You can always find a new way to do that, implement the like function. So enough with the talk, let's proceed to adding the like feature. So what I'm going to do is, here we have our single blog post, single blog row that we have created. Inside this, I'm going to create a new horizontal layout. I'm going to put it right here after the username, and inside that I'm going to add in an image button. So it's not a necessity to include the image button. You can always use a normal button. Now the reason why I'm using the horizontal layout is I don't want to just show the like button. I also want to add in more things over here. So that maybe you can decide that later, but for right now I'm going to change the source of this image button to an image that I have recently imported. So I have three images over here: a gray like button, a red, and a dark. Now I'll be telling you guys why I'm using three different colors, but for right now I'm going to choose this gray one. And if you guys want to download these kind of like buttons and all, you just go to design.google.com/icons, and there you search I see thumb up, or just type in the search bar thumb, and you'll get this one. And you download it, change the colors if you want in Photoshop, or you can create your custom icons as well. Then I'm going to remove the background, so I'm going to change the background color of this one to transparent. All right, and let's add margin to it. So from all sides 10 would be nice, instead of the top, because I don't want to add margin at the top. So I'll be changing it to okay. So you can see that we have added a like button to our app. So if I run this now, and let me just run it quickly, and this should not take longer because I recently tested the app, so I guess it should just run pretty quickly. Yep. So the app is running now, and here you can see that now each post have a like button over there. Now we need to add in the functionality. So I'm going to go to the main activity where we have created our blog view holder. Now inside the blog view holder, I'm going to add in public. Let me just type in image button. This is going to be like button. All right, then we're going to set the binder over here equals image button. All right, mview dot find view by id r.id dot, and we need to actually give it some id over here. So I'm going to change the id of this to like button, then come down here and let's say like button. All right, so we have set up the like button over here. Now you can set the on click listener over here pretty quick easily. So all you need to do is just like we access all the methods of this blog view holder, same thing we're going to do it with this one. So view holder dot like button, so this is the like button that we have created over here, dot set on click listener, and this is going to be right here. Now what it should do when the user press the like button is kind of a little bit tricky, but you need to follow me on this one. So first thing is I want a boolean over here. So private boolean, and this is going to be m process like process click. All right, now like equals false. I'm going to set it to false, and I'll tell you the reason for this one. All right, then over here when a user press the button, I'm going to set the m process like to true. Now the reason why I'm doing this, because we are going to use add value event listener to retrieve the data and to set the data, and as you guys may know that the database is real time, so we don't want to run the like function again and again. So it's just to stop the value event listener from processing the same code again and again. All right, then I'm going to say if, all right, m process like, if it is true, only then this code should process, or else it shouldn't. Then I'm going to create a database reference to our database reference m database like. Okay, I have already created it over here while I was testing the app, so you guys can create it. Then you come down here and add m database like Firebase get instance get reference child likes. So as I told you, I'll be adding likes inside the main object. All right, then you just set it to m database like keep synced to true. So that's to set up the database reference. Then I'm going to say m database like dot add value event listener. We're going to use the value event listener to retrieve the data, and then inside on data change, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run one more if statement. Now this is going to check if the like exists already or not. So if the user have already liked it, we don't want it to like it again. We want the user to dislike it by pressing the same button. So what we want to do right here is if data snapshot dot child. Now this is going to have a child of the post ID. All right, so we want to look in the likes object, then inside the post ID, and then we want to check if the user exists or not. So the post key, then dot has child, we want to check if it has the child that we are actually looking for. The child is going to be the current ID of the user. So mauth dot get current user get UID. All right, so this will check if the like already exists or not, and if it does, just keep it like this. But if the like doesn't exist, then what it should do is m database like dot child. Now the child is going to be obviously the post key, then dot child, actually not the child, yeah, we want to create one more child, and this is going to be our current user. So mauth dot get current user dot get UID, and we're going to set the value of this one to something that you actually want to set. You can set it to the username, you can set it to email and profile pic, whatever you want, or you can store multiple values like username, the name, a profile pic, and email as well. But right now we are actually not focusing on retrieving the likes, like who have liked it. The main purpose of this is to just implement the like functionality. So just for right now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to just type in random value. So when we later retrieve all the likes of the user, then we can change it to something else that actually makes sense. But for this part, I'm going to be just setting it to random value. All right. So now what I want to do, let's run the app and see what happens. And wait for it. All right, activity launching. I'm going to open up this and this both over here. So I'm going to tap on this button to see if it works or not. And there you can see it has created a child. The ID is the post ID. I guess this is this one over here. Then we have the user ID. This user has logged in, and the value is set to random value, because without a value we can't actually store a child. Now make sure that you keep in mind. Right now, if I press again, you see that nothing happens, because we are already checking if this code should process or not. Now one thing that I want to do after this is mProcess like to set to false. So this shouldn't proceed from here. All right, now if the like already exists, now what we want to do over here is it should actually remove this child. So we actually are disliking the post. So that means mdatabase like dot child, and the child is post key obviously. Then we want to again to our main user, get UID, and then I'm gonna just say remove value. Now as I told you, without the value the key does not exist. All right, so if I remove the value, that means the key is already is obviously getting deleted. Then I'm gonna set mProcess like to false. Now if you don't set it to false, if you don't use it, then the Firebase is gonna go crazy, because this is real time and it's gonna do both of these functions again and again, and it will be like creating so many childs, deleting so many childs at the same time. So you don't want to do that. So I'm going to run the app now, and let's see if it deletes the like or not, and wait for it. Okay, so the app is running now. Here you can see that this is the third post. What I'm going to do, I'm going to test it on the second post as well. So I'm going to click on the second post, and there we go. This is actually what I was talking about. This shouldn't happen. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just quickly force stop the app. All right, so take a rest. Let's see what we did wrong over here. So mProcess like to false. All right, this is actually what we did wrong. Is this shouldn't be over here. We want to process this statement inside this one over here. All right, so mProcess like, yep. Now let's run it. So make sure that you don't do these mistakes, because that's gonna make the app go crazy. And there's obviously alternative methods to do the same things, and we're gonna find out those methods very soon. But for right now, you should proceed with this one, because when we will move to the advanced coding of Firebase, there's gonna be so many new stuff that you're gonna learn, and that will be for later parts. All right, so I guess this is gonna take a little while now, because I force stopped the app, and this is going to do the full build Gradle again. So I guess you can skip the part for about the app starts. Okay, so I'm just gonna sit quiet till then. If you guys are still watching this, there's one thing I want to tell you guys is if you Google it and if you try to search Firebase tutorials, you're obviously not going to find anything on YouTube or Google as well. So as I'm telling you guys that these are just for the intermediate coding level, because the method that everyone uses are always different and nobody uses the same techniques. So that's why I'm just telling you guys that when we will be moving to the advanced coding, we obviously going to change our methods a little bit, not too much, but something that makes a little bit more sense. Now the key that you see over here, this many guys are telling me that how we can order it from newer post to the older post. It's actually pretty easy. If you use the push command of the Firebase, it actually stores the data with the timestamp, and obviously the when you retrieve it using the recycler views, all the data will be from newer to the older one. And if you don't, I'll surely check it out and we'll tell you guys soon in next or maybe the part after that. So this takes a lot of time. And another thing that I forgot to mention was make sure that you change the write rules to only auth. The reason behind this is using the data event listeners, many user can retrieve the link URL over here. So we don't want anybody to access it to the write permissions. So let's see what happens. Okay, so the app is running now. That was the previous code running. All right, now the code is processed. Let me just check if it works. I'm going to tap on it and there it removes it. I'm going to tap it again, it adds it. All right, so now you guys may be getting what I was talking about. Now for the rest of functionality, let's finish in the icon change. So we can do that pretty easily. In our blog view holder, I'm going to create one more method. It is going to be public void set like button. All right, and this should get a string of post key. All right, so we can pass the post key over here. So what I'm going to do, blog view holder dot set like button, and we're going to pass in the post key over here. So we can check over here what the post key is exactly. So then I'm going to say okay, we need to include in the database reference and our auth. All right, and we can set it over here. So m database like equals Firebase database get instance reference and child likes. All right, then m auth equals, because this is a new class, we are just like that doing it, and also m database like dot keep synced to true. All right, so this should work really faster than you with these slow connections as well. So what I'm going to do next is m database like dot add value event listener new value event listener. Now this should be real time, that's why we are using the add value event listener. And now the next thing is going to be the same thing. We are going to check if the like exists or not. So data snapshot dot child, and the child is going to be the post key. So post key, then we're going to check has child and if it has our mauth UID. All right, so if the child exists, that means the user has liked the post. So what we can do over here is we can change the mipmap image of our button. So our button is mLike button dot set image resource. So I'm going to change it from to the red one. So if the user has liked it, the red button should display, and if he haven't, it should change to the gray one. And I'm going to run the app, and let's just quickly test it. Then I'm going to pause the video. Okay, so the app is running. Now let's test the function. So you can see that we have like 2 posts, so both are red and this one is gray. If I tap on it, it turns red and the like is added. And if I click on it again, okay, click over here and bam, there we go. So we have implemented the like feature and many more things to come. And obviously you guys are thinking, why do we need 3 images while we have used only 2 of them? I'll tell you that really soon in the next part. So see you guys till then. Try implementing more features by yourself, and you'll be seeing some new features in next part really soon. See you guys later.